Episode 270. There's trouble afoot at the Scholasticate, and Janitor Komoi Moriko is on the case. There was nothing wrong with our previous glamour. No, don't need to do that. Well, sure. Our previous glamour with the storm attire, the storm uniform, fit in perfectly fine as if we looked like one of the students, close enough anyway. But I feel like I wanted to have Komoi play the part as the janitor. The janitor that's maybe a bit smarter than everyone would ever expect. At least that's how Komoi thinks of herself as. I myself don't think of herself as being all that smart. But with the glasses, maybe she looks the part. And of course, if Komoi's the janitor, then that would make Briardian, Consulting Inspector Briardian, the guidance counselor. Or something. I'm not sure what kind of role would perfectly fit a consulting inspector, but the consulting and inspecting part seems to kind of fit in with guiding and counseling, maybe. Although Uncle said we should speak with care, we would be remiss in our duties if we refrained from asking difficult questions. I trust if you agree. Good. Komoi wasn't going to be very tactful in the first place. But what do you think? What do you think of our outfit, Briardian? Briardian isn't really dressing the part. He's not wearing the school colors, which I guess are black and white and red. He's just kind of wearing blue. I don't know. Maybe he's like an exchange guidance counselor or something like that, if that's even a thing. We have been expecting you. The headmistress awaits you within. Actually, I guess all of the staff wear white. Should we be wearing white? That wouldn't make sense for a janitor, though. They gotta wear like dark colors. So all the muck isn't very visible. Headmistress Elvion, may I have the pleasure to introduce the individuals who shall be in charge of keeping order at the Scholasticate. This is Consulting Inspector Briardian and his associate, Komoi Moriko. Komoi Moriko? I must say, Father Bruvenon, your selections are rather appropriate. We thank you both for your service in our time of need. I trust that Father Bruvenon, I keep on trying to pronounce it like filet mignon or something. Well, that's the only thing that I can assume it's supposed to be pronounced as. I trust that Father Bruvenon has briefed you on our humble seminary. St. Endelim Scholasticate has produced Ishgard's finest clergy for centuries, including countless men and women who have served in the highest echelons of the Holy See. All of whom were spared a brutal death on the battlefield, in service to a misguided war they perpetuated, or so some might be given to say. Thanks, Briardian. Thanks for being tactless for us. Indeed, some might, and they would not be entirely mistaken. For while we were wholly unaware of the deception perpetuated by the archbishops, we did unwittingly sustain it, to our sorrow. The idea that we willingly subjected them to false precepts is, of course, preposterous, a contrived fantasy. Nevertheless, some fervently believe it true, and these selfsame individuals have come to view our instructors and students as targets for their misguided anger. It is of paramount importance that we restore faith in the teachings. Yet how are we to regain the trust of our common man when our own seminarians are embroiled in childish quarrels? You refer to this tension regarding the interim evaluation system. Quite frankly, it is but one facet. Classes have also been suspended until we complete our own painstaking review of the curriculum. Some students have taken leave, while the more dedicated have taken it upon themselves to conduct independent work to demonstrate their merits. We cannot allow this situation to continue indefinitely. Graduation is approaching, and we must make our recommendations. But the senior class is divided. They know not how they will be evaluated. Rather, they understand how they will be evaluated, but have no faith that our methods will produce a fair result. A concern not without merit, I must confess. I too suspect that some may be driven to manipulate the interim system to their advantage. I expect some have already tried, but that is why we have brought in outside observers. Inspector Briardian, Ko Mori Moriko. If anyone is engaging in unscrupulous behavior, I should have it brought to an end at once. May the Fury guide you in our task, your task. Actually, after that cutscene, I'm not so sure what kind of colors I want to be wearing. The black and red is mainly the students' colors. I guess white and red would be the staff colors, which is sort of what we're trying to blend into. But Briardian just kind of wears his own thing because he's consulting, so maybe we should blend in with him as like blue and white, just as a quick check. What if we were white and red, like a staff? It'd be kind of weird for the janitor to wear white, but maybe the janitors in Ishgard are squeaky clean. How does that look? It's kind of interesting. What about the shoes? We can kind of see that their shoes in the left side of the screen towards the bottom, those are white. So if we made these white and red as well, it's an interesting look. But comparing it to the black and red on the left side of the screen, I don't know if I prefer that. And if we like inverted this, no, not that. This and then this. Well, we do stand out. I'm not sure we want that. If we made this part black. I tried to do all of this before the episode started, but now I'm having second thoughts. Yeah, I don't think that. Probably not. So what about Briardian's colors? If we went like blue and white. Blue janitor outfit sounds about right. And we've got some blue on us, I guess. How much blue? We got 9 on that, and 2 on that. Trying to get Briardian on screen here. What kind of blue is he? It's kind of like a darker blue. Sort of like this, but a bit more pale. Yeah, that one stands out a bit too much. What about this midnight blue? The hue's a bit off. It's his is a bit more pale, isn't it? He seems to be more of a this void blue. It's hard to tell with the lighting. It's kind of stupid to record this sort of thing, but I guess this is also part of the process, right? This is... oh no, not die. Try on. This is part of the process of how I play the game. So I guess if I'm just recording my own experience, then I might as well record this. Yeah, I think the closest we're gonna get is void blue. And that's woad blue. That's actually pretty close. Just to compare. What about void blue on the pants? Between those two blues, I think it seems like woad blue would be our best bet. Woad, there it is. Yeah, I kind of like that look. The shoes can stay the same. The glasses... I guess Briardian's more of a white, so... well, what was the secondary color? So white on that, and... white on this. No, not that. This isn't going to be the entire episode. Okay, yeah, I think we got it. And now just the shoes. What if we just inverted their colors? White and then black. The white shoes are fine, I guess. Quick check if we disable that. Maybe we prefer the black shoes though. We'll workshop it. By workshop it I mean probably in between episodes I'll change my mind completely. Yeah, white shoes for a janitor again don't really make sense. It just kind of looks better, I think, combined with all this stuff. So save that, and let's try on blue glasses. Oh no, the colors didn't save. Why not? This, and then this. And then this, and then this. And there. That's what we'd go for, I think. Maybe the white glasses, those are easy to change out. The white might stand out a bit too much, but yeah, we'd stand in with priority, and that's kind of the only side we're taking, because we know the detective can't be the culprit. That's like one of those famous detective novel rules or something. Like you can only have one secret exit. I think that was like an Agatha Christie thing or something, maybe. Well, now we just gotta find some woad blue dye. Everyone just wait right there. We gotta fix some things here. We'll get to the episode in earnest in a second. I was actually pretty proud of this glamour, but now I want to be blue. Hopefully they sell it over here. Just for like a proper, I guess, reward system, only some of the dyes are available at the store, these typical stores. And you have to get the other dyes through other stores, and the really super cool dye, like the metallic ones and the really harsh color ones, are, I guess, locked behind special content or something. Woad blue. Damn, it's not here. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to look it up quickly. Who sells woad blue dye? I should have this one unlocked since it's not one of these special super dyes, like the metallic ones. This is probably locked behind someone's society quest or something. One of these societies from A Realm Reborn. Where is... I tried like 3 different websites already. There it is. It's a reward from quests. It's from ventures... Oh, wait. Does this not get sold at any stores? Yeah, some of these other ones you just have to actually craft to make them. Okay. Well, I guess we just need 2 of them, so maybe they're cheap on the market board. I hope. That's relatively cheap. Sure. No, wait. I have 3 in inventory. Why didn't I recognize that? What? Since when? I was like doing this and then I was doing this, and over here I thought the woad blue was an X, but no. No, it's just nestled in between all of these other X's. Well, that's perfect. Don't have to spend a cent. Although I did already spend several cents on this glamour in the first place. In a previous episode I showed this, but this is the the craftsman's coverall outfit, the top and the bottom, which you would have gotten from the Asgardian restoration for turning in scripts. I could have farmed all those scripts, I've been doing that in the background, but since it's taking a while to do that and I want to spend those scripts on other things, I actually decided to just launder some more money through my retainer again, through my main character and all that. Spent about 600,000 on this, which is relatively chump change for my main character, but kind of a pain in the ass to grind out as Komoy. So that, and the same here. And on this we wanted to make them white and black. You know, actually, it's a pain in the ass to do this, but because of the weird rules of the dye system, the dyes don't stay permanent unless you actually put them on the item inside the dresser. Otherwise, if you erase the glamour plate, you'll lose the dye forever, which isn't too bad, but it becomes a pain in the ass for the really, really expensive dyes like the things on this page. And the pants. Same ones. Nope, that. Okay. Then replace. And replace. And the shoes, we don't have to change the actual, the actual default dyes because I put some more expensive dyes on those already. These ashen white and soot black they're pretty easy to come by. Was this right? The right colors? Wait, actually, I think these are by default white. Like a better white. Yeah, that is a better white, like a more clear white. Less ashen. But it doesn't actually blend in with the rest of the white, does it? Plus, we're a janitor. The white shoes would definitely have some grime on them anyway. Okay. Then yeah, this is it. And just as a quick final check. How does white look on this? They're pretty glaring, aren't they? These white underrims. In the neutral lighting like this, they're not too bad. The neutral lighting of the screen on the right side. But, I think we're just gonna go with the blue ones. They're less obtrusive, I guess. I'll maybe change my minds between episodes, like I said. Yeah, this is our look now. Okay, back to the actual quest. That took a good 10-15 minutes off of the episode or something. That's fine. Thanks for waiting so patiently, everyone. And now that we're standing side by side with Priority Inn, we look pretty good, don't we? Oh, but now that I'm looking at it, do we want some white gloves? That would really be, like, not a good idea for a janitor in any way whatsoever, but we would kind of blend in a bit more with Priority Inn, and we already have the white shoes. It would maybe be funny if we had squeaky clean gloves and shoes as a janitor, but no, we're not going back to do that. Surely one who desires to join the clergy would not be foolish enough to stoop to such behavior. The fairy knows all and sees all. So the headmistress also thinks some of the students have attempted to cheat. I think that's generic. Now then, before we proceed, might you both tell us a little about your student's father? My apologies. I am Father Saturnois. Saturnois? In addition to teaching the fundamentals of Hellenic polity, I also oversee fundraising for the stipends of underprivileged students. While I would like to help you, I think my opinion would not do them justice. I would suggest getting to know them yourselves. I feel the same way. The way in which pupils speak in front of their instructors is not the same as amongst themselves. In my 10 years of counseling, damn, she's the actual guidance counselor. Sorry, Briardian. We'll have to find you like a new role. They have minded their etiquette and are not but cordial to me. However, I can recommend one of my students who is quite vocal. Mayhap you try speaking with the dormitory prefect, Arcombadin? Is that right? Arcombadin? Ishgardian names every time. Given his closeness to the students' social affairs, he may also be able to give you insight into what they talk about. Arcombadin? Ah yes, the silver-haired boy. A son of House Zamail. Yeah, the bully guy. We got all of the tropes going on. We got the nerd's friend, the jock, the nerdy girl, the popular girl, and then the rich kid prefect, who is also like a super nerd, but he's kind of pretty pompous about it, and his other preppy friend, or something like that. Don't actually know what preppy means, but it's fun, having all of these archetypes in this one little side quest. We shall heed your suggestion, Sister Gatel, given his duty and status. Yeah, I think switching to these colors was right. It kind of actually has the effect of making Briardian blend in a bit more, since he has someone to have a parallel with, sort of. Ah, over here. So Leizaki is helping the inspector now. While I have little interest in noble bloodlines, I am not unfamiliar with the Count de Zamail's sons. Are they both sons? No. Has no one ever told you that brandishing weapons is frowned upon in places of enlightenment? Yeah, that's why we put it away. Hopefully we don't just like randomly pull it out at any point in this quest, because then I'd have to answer the question of how we're pulling it out of thin air. That is, unless Lei has sent you to stir up more trouble. Rest assured that my associate inspector, janitor, draws her armaments only to resolve troublesome situations, not create them. We merely came to ask of your well-being and your expectations for the future. Under the auspices of the headmistress, I am sure. Very well. I, le Professeur de Bonfort, of House Bonfort, in service to House Zamail, present to you... There's so many letters here. Present to you Arcombadin de Zamail. As prefects for the Scholastic Dormitory, we are responsible for keeping the peace between our fellow seminarians. Correct me if I am wrong, but are you not the foreigner who went to rather great lengths to expose the Archbishop's falsehoods? Responsible for the re-evaluation of the entire curriculum? Yeah. Quite the resolution, that. And for what? Every great nation's history is marred by the sins of the past. Alamigo, Ulda, Limsa, please. Each was built on a foundation of lies and blood. I mean, he's right, but he's also wrong about not doing anything about that. I'm sure there are some people trying in each of those respective places. Which is not to say we elites should not learn from these mistakes, but we who have served as shepherds of the people for 1,000 years have a duty to maintain order through the preservation of tradition. Would a Wainwright cast aside his father's best cart when it has but a broken wheel? He's trying to make a logical argument, but it's all just the, what's it called again? The white man's burden? That old thing? Indeed, Arcombadin and I have said as much to those who support a more radical approach. The last thing we need is young seminarians running about, crying for reformation. I see. So you both have been quite active in convincing the other students to see things your way. How have you fared? 'Tis hardly a daunting task. Many seek comfort in consistency. Sister Gattel has tasked us with bringing back the students who took leave. Why not let our results determine how persuasive we are? I thank you, gentlemen, for your cooperation, and wish you the best of luck with your efforts. Now then, Komoi, if these students are bringing back their truant peers, there must be others who are doing the same. Let us split up and seek out the participants. Don't think we forgot what you said about us. We can read, you know. In addition to preserving the other students' welfare, we prefix also take it upon ourselves to conduct study sessions and volunteer activities, so that all may receive of a rich and fulfilling education. Well, don't tell us, we're not the judges. By the grace of the Count de Zamile was I admitted into the scholasticate, that I might remain by our combatant side. When you say the Count de Zamile, that's not like Terrason, right? Because he's no longer the Count. I'm pretty sure Terrason is our combatant's grandpa. I'm not sure if I've ever seen the current Count. He is the sun which shines the light of truth throughout these halls, and I am but the moon which reflects his radiance. Yeah, the bully Saki. There always has to be one, right? I'm pretty sure all of these quests are just going to be over here in the city of Ishgard, so we don't have to worry about whipping out our weapons or something. It would be very strange if I pulled this out during a cutscene and we were in this janitor look. Who are these? Are these NPCs actually part of this questline? They're talking about the seminary, but I think they're just... I think these NPCs are just always here, and they just place these quest NPCs here to blend in with, like, people that normally talk about the seminary. Can't you talk with him another time? I finally got his attention, and I'd rather you not interrupt. Oh. Everyone loves Kramerval, I guess. The pretty boy. You too came to hear Kramerval speak? The wisdom of a scholar with the soul of a poet. When he recites scripture, I just sigh. The new exotic flower graces us with her presence today. Well met, dear. We're a janitor. Did you just call us exotic? How very rude. And what am I, chopped liver? He was looking at me until you showed up. We're famous. Ah, I see. So you are helping Inspector Biodian. A pleasure to meet you. I am Kramerval de Main... More names. All of these Ishgardian names. There's going to be a lot of these in this quest. Maintigny. Maintini? I am Kramerval de Maintini, but you may address me simply by my first name, thank God. Kramerval is so much more easy to pronounce than Maintini, I guess. So what brings you to the pillars? Could it be you are to observe how we go about convincing truant seminarians to return? Then by all means, let me show you how it is done. I must admit, I find many of the... No wait, that's not him. I must admit, I find many of the other students rather intimidating. But thanks to Kramerval, I'm considering returning to the Scholasticate to resume my studies. We were just discussing the responsibility of the Highborn. The responsibility the Highborn have to redress the imbalance. Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. So it is written in Volume 11 of the 72 Articles of Hellenic Polity. There are those things again. I hope we don't have to memorize the numbers this time. equal under her ever-watchful gaze. Ah, would that you graced our halls with your presence once more, that I might favor you with mine own gaze. I fondly recall seeing your lovely face always buried in that tome. Oh, Crammerlaw, you did notice. I thought the pen a lengthy treatise on it. Treatise? How's this actually pronounced? Treatise. Must be treatise, I think. A lengthy treatise on it, but I could not make do once the volume vanished. Oh right, we replaced that. Oh, so you helped Matthew by searching for that tome? With how relevant the content has become these days, I suppose it is not surprising it would go missing. In any event, you've convinced me. I will gather my things and return to the dormitory straight away. Yes, that is the way. One must seize the moment and act upon one's convictions. Life is but a fleeting, fragile thing. Wouldn't you agree, my dear? Well, I have done my part in guiding a little lamb back to the flock, and now to celebrate with a well-deserved nap. I bid you both farewell. It's good that these guys want to do something about the situation, but a lot of it seems maybe misguided in the sense that they consider themselves the people that are responsible for guiding everyone else, just because of their status. I think if they have a responsibility, it's not because of their high status, but because of their low status. Having been thrown under the bus with all of the lies that were exposed. Must just be these guys. Komoy, it's good to see you. Fighting the good fight lately? Oh, hello Komoy. Lei and I were just about to visit our friends in the Foundation and try to convince them to return to their studies. It's been difficult since we aren't exactly held in high regard right now. The dormitory prefects have made sure of that. We must do all in our power to motivate our friends to come back to the Scholasticate. Then we can strive for high marks together. Right, and then we can convince our peers that we are just as worthy as any highborn in the clergy. They will welcome us with open arms, and all will be well in Ishgard. If our Commandant and his cronies receive the Scholasticate's endorsement, no one will ever listen to us. We can't let them take the Trinity. I would rather not think of it that way, Lei. Let us just focus on bringing back as many people as we can. Well, that's how the Highborn are thinking about it. The more vocal we become, the more they will see us as a threat. That's why we have to stick together. Yeah, everyone's got different motivations. The Omison couldn't really care about the status or anything, he just wants to do right by everyone. But in a sense, maybe Lei has more of the bigger picture in mind. A position on the Trinity would probably do a lot of good if you're on it and you have the right mind for it. And preventing someone bad from taking that position is probably a good idea too. But what do we know? We're just a lowly janitor, helping out the guidance counselor. The exchange guidance counselor, something like that. Superintendent? No, he's not that high of a position. Vice principal? That's also too high, I guess. Could he be like the science teacher, even though they don't teach science in Magical Land? Ishgard? Everyone's all gathered here. I gotta talk to everyone. All these people are making me nervous. I mean, I was not able to bring anyone back, so I'm not even part of the competition, but even so, I hope that Theo did well. Well, I did everything I could, and even if I did not guide them all myself, I am glad that so many of our peers have come back. The dormitory rat has quite the smile on his face. Could it be that he was able to gather more students than us? After reviewing the preliminary numbers at the dormitory, I'm looking forward to the results. Curious about the result? I cannot imagine why. I see no reason to expect anything surprising. If our performance is to be taken into account for the final rankings, then I must say our combatant and I have nothing to worry about. With all the young women returning, mayhap I will have more incentive to linger in the library. But I do not see Ula. It would seem that our combatant and Nebrasor had quite the advantage, given their experience in managing the dormitory. We shall announce the results anon. Right then, let us see how competitive these students truly are. It brings me joy to see so many of our brothers and sisters return to the Scholasticate. Sister Gattel, the floor is yours. Thank you, Arcombadan. I will now announce how many of our stray sheep each student persuaded to come home. Both the Omniscient and they were able to bring back one student each. Janchet guided 2 back into our arms. Arcombadan and Nebrasor were each able to convince 3 students to return, the most of all. Excellent work, all of you. Yeah, what about that guy? Let the janitor speak. What about Kramerval? Oh, is this true? Are we missing someone from the count? The girl you speak of has formally withdrawn from the Scholasticate. Apparently she was not all that enthusiastic about returning, as she led Kramerval to believe. Mayhap she chose to play along so that he would cease his harassment. Perhaps it was for the best. She rarely engaged her fellow students, instead choosing to sit alone and read the articles of Hellenic polity. Given the recent revelations, I suspect she became disillusioned with the face. Strange you would say that, Levasseur. When I last spoke with her, Ula was quite interested in Volume 11's Equal Under Her Ever Watchful Gaze passage. One that you and your master would sooner pretend did not exist. If she were the victim of harassment, I rather expect it was at your hands. Are you implying that we had something to do with it because we did not share her views? What rot! You dishonor yourself and your house with such baseless accusations. Rather you would, if aught remained of your house to dishonor. Let's strike a chord with him. I yield, good sir. I yield. I lack the qualities of the honorable Lord Arcombadan. I lack the qualities the Honorable Lord Arcombadan possesses, which enable him to deliver such observations. Well, if Ula has withdrawn, then I must mourn her departure by walking through the dormitory halls, reciting excerpts from Volume 11. And how do you intend to do that? Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity has been missing for some time now. The tomes themselves are inconsequential, if one has taken the words to heart. How fortunate we are that the wisdom of our forebears is not so easily forgotten. Would you not agree? Such impudence as befits a sick son. For all his failings, his father was wise to send him away. At any rate, we are blessed that this handful of truants have returned to us. Truly it is the Fury's will that we overcome these trials and tribulations, and move forward with a singular vision of the future. Yeah, we're so united right now. A student with a keen interest in a controversial precept, who withdraws without explanation. This seems rather odd to me as well. Mayhap it is worthy of our attention. Actually, looking at Briardian's glasses, they're not completely white, are they? They're more of a silver or a grayish. Maybe that instead? Because this is just straight up white, right? So that's black. And we have like undyed and silver. And even gray? Maybe gray. Yeah, that kind of fits in with the white. Just to check though, the silver might be a bit too reflective. Yeah, with the lighting it could look too obtrusive, maybe even too dark at times. I think we just want the flat gray. Yeah, there we go. I think. How do we look, Briardian? It's kind of hard to compare glasses when we can't be eye to eye. I think that works. Yeah. Perfect. Until I change it the next time. It is true that Ula had signed the paperwork to formally withdraw from her studies, but knowing her passion for study of scripture, I feel something is amiss. The 5 pupils who brought back the truants are no doubt vying for the highest marks. But it would seem that the dormitory prefects came out on top this time. Jantet, you stayed behind. I have no interest in this short-sighted squabble over seat rankings. It is only natural people would try to take advantage of an unfortunate situation. Find a way to atone for the distortions of truth, and guide the people back to the faith in a peaceful manner. This is what I will focus my efforts on. Okay, she's kind of the same stance as Theomacent, it seems. And actually everyone stayed behind. I'm sure you're always wondering why I stare at Theomacent. Yeah, I wonder why. He always seems so confident, so I thought maybe I could learn from him. I don't really have any outstanding talents, and I get discouraged easily. But when he's around, I feel more positive about what I can accomplish. Crammerval can say what he pleases, yet it does not mean it is the truth. In a state of confusion, even blatant lies can seem like rational thought to the desperate. Faith in the church must be restored not through word, but virtuous deed. Is that not what we seminarians should consider in determining the future? Fancy words. I am considering ways to alleviate animosity and unite the seminarians of the Scholasticate. Yet it is a daunting task. It is always easier to fuel the flames than to put the fire out. And there are some who are clearly provoking my peers. You're provoking me. Komoy, were you present when Crammerval spoke with Ula? Yeah, she was definitely on his side. So she was indeed enthusiastic about returning to the Scholasticate. Then why did she instead decide to withdraw? Crammerval all but accused Arcombodin of having a hand in it, as well as the disappearance of this Volume 11. Not more than slander spoken in anger, perhaps, but the situation does merit further investigation. We look forward to your results, Inspector. Mistress Moriko, if I might have a word with you in private, pray meet with me near the plaza of the Saint Raymonald's Cathedral. Surprisingly, that very first quest we did, just tracking down those books for that one merchant guy, seemed to be tying in with the main plot. How fun. Whatever her reasons, it is our loss. Ula was an excellent student. In better lighting on the outside here. Or rather, I guess it's nighttime, so... Well, this is good enough lighting. Yeah, the glasses are fine. They're fine. No need to change them. Theo can be so thick-headed sometimes. He doesn't realize that all those students are competent and never saw it brought back will make our lives a living hell. At least Father Saturnar understands the stakes. Our competent and never saw are truly impressive. That they were able to bring the most students back to the Scholasticate, they surely have a way with words. Would that I had such a skill. Thank you for coming, Mistress Moriko. You are already acquainted with my two best students, Diomacint and they. They have sought my counsel in their request to obtain the Trinity seats, and I've been more than willing to oblige them out of a desire to ensure that all students are given equal opportunity. I am not blind to the machinations of our hard-born students, after all. How kind of you. I know not what our competent and Neversor have said to you, but I advise you to wait carefully. You witnessed their treatment of a fellow high-born student, did you not? Then it should come as no surprise that they regard their low-born peers far more harshly, discriminating against them with whatever means at their disposal. Yeah, another weird political, social line being drawn in this very complicated chart of the Scholasticate. Don't know who's exactly enemies and friends. I mean, some of them are more obvious than others, but even the highborn students are kind of at each other's throats. If the highborn are like, six sons or whatever they call them. Like the low highborn, if that's even a thing. Those two believe that the less fortunate students lack the potential to become great clergymen. But if the Diomacint and they can obtain the highest marks and secure their places within the Holy, or within the Trinity, through their hard work and virtue, then these misguided beliefs would be proved wrong. Even if we were to succeed, what difference would it make? Those who disagree will not be so easily swayed, and those who sympathize will be reluctant to speak out for fear of reprisals. Then you must find allies who are fearless, who do not flinch in the face of threats. Mistress Moriko, have you come across any who fit that description? Kramerval? That's the only option. Sure. I'm curious what would happen if we stayed silent, though. Probably someone else would suggest him, yeah. Yet Theo would probably suggest him himself. Actually, it happened once before, didn't it? Where we had the choice between staying silent and just speaking up. I wonder if that's going to be like a common thing in this questline where that's going to be our only real choice. Hopefully the choices are going to be a bit more involved in that, maybe. Not that it's really ever a problem. I mean, that's the thing with Final Fantasy. The only times you really get a choice in conversation, they don't really change much other than one or two lines immediately after that, which is just flavor, basically. But I guess I like that flavor, so it would be nice to have more options for other flavors. Anyway, I thought so as well. He seems to treat everyone the same, and he defended Ulah's honor at the assembly. I mean, he's also kind of a skirt chaser, but he's fine. I guess he's fine. The highborn lecher, who skips out on sessions and can't even stay awake for the ones he attends. Theo, are you daft? If he did decide to help us, I wouldn't even want it. No need to dismiss him out of hand, eh? As Diomacint said, he spoke out openly against our combatant and Neversor on behalf of Ulah. He might be willing to do the same for you two. Absolutely not. I don't trust any of the highborn. Yep, there's another line to draw. Between they and every highborn in existence, I guess. Look, I'll help with finding others, but you're on your own with Kramerval. Very well, Mistress Moriko. Will you accompany Diomacint? One cannot be too careful, especially with the rise in assaults on the clergy. Thank you. I am certain we can find him in the pillars, in his usual spot. That's kind of what makes this quest so fun, isn't it? All of these different characters coming from different walks of life, basically. And the arbitrary lines they draw between each other and to each other, the sides they take and all that sort of thing. Right, so this one would have been the lascivious lass. I guess Ulan was the other one who's currently missing. While I appreciate a scholarly debate as much as anyone, your bespectacled friend does not seem to understand that this is neither the time nor the place. And I was so close. I'm not going to get anywhere at this rate. I thought he would be more receptive to my appeal, but instead he seems rather annoyed. Can't you see, Freckles, or can't you and Freckles see we're busy? Leave us be. Freckles, you certainly have a way with words, my dear. She's quite right, you know. We have more pressing matters to attend to. Gramova, please, will you not help our cause? I believe us to be like-minded individuals. Those who desire a new path for the Church, one based on principles of... so earnest and forthright. How adorable. I can hardly resist pinching those soft, supple cheeks. Oh, for the love of... Come, darling. Let us go somewhere that will afford us privacy. I see how it is. An offer that I dare not refuse. Good luck with... whatever it is you're about, Freckles. Who has the most to gain? That's the question, right? Whenever a crime is committed. He's gone. No, I cannot give up. The future of the Church depends on us. I was not given an opportunity to explain in full, so I will not leave his side until he hears me out. Over there, over there. Aren't we persistent? Well, if you value his life, I suggest you listen to me this time, and leave us be. Oh no. I might have to pull out my weapon. This is not what you think. Is it kinky or something? I guess it's not that. Okay, so this isn't exactly going the way I thought it was. I thought she would be, like, after his affections for real or something. Unless this is like a yandere situation, which I'm pretty sure it isn't. But it turns out she wasn't in on that disappearance of the other girl, in order to gain all of his attention for herself. It seems like she just wanted to kidnap him and hold a knife to his throat for some reason. Now, let's not get too hasty. I'm sure we can resolve this matter peacefully. Agreed, so long as you don't try something stupid and give me cause to cut his throat. Did I not tell you I was preoccupied? You there. Take Freckles and get out of here. Release him at once, or I'll summon the watch. Don't you dare. The affairs of House Mainteni are none of your concern. She demands recompense, and rightly so. If I must pay with my life, then so be it. More complicated than I would have thought, the pretty boy. No one's just a stereotype in high school, huh? I will not allow it. No, do not look so glum. If I must look upon your freckled face before I ascend to Alone's halls, I would rather you favored me with a smile or some such. Father's sins are mine alone to bear now, mine alone to answer for. Mayhap in death our house shall at last be redeemed. If it is recompense you desire, then you shall have it, but not with his life. The Fury forgives not those who kill their fellow man for wanton purpose. Permit him to address your grievances with scorn, and you may have your justice without sin. Furthermore, I offer myself to you as hostage in his place, that he might be free to secure sufficient ransom. Have you gone mad? I told you this is none of your... I will not abandon such a pious soul, one who shares my desire to make the world a better place. We are not so different, Cramavon. We have the chance to make amends for the sins of our fathers, to make Ishgard whole again. I cannot do it without you. You really are something else, making a bloody speech about changing the world at a time like this. I offer the wealth of House Maintenance as ransom. If the lady agrees to these terms, then I will go and retrieve it at once. I'll take her silence as a yes. Now then, come. I've always wanted to tie someone up. That's, okay, this went back into kinky territory. Kind of funny that this is just happening, well, not in broad daylight, but it's... I mean, you had to have this scene somewhere. It's good that they're not just reusing the broom and all that, but... we're just kind of in the main thoroughfare here in Ishgard. Anyone could see us. But I guess it's kind of a good thing that this is happening at night. We can kind of roleplay that they're doing all of this shady business under the cover of dark. You need not worry about me. I promise I will not move an elm. I can't believe I agreed to this. You had better hope that no one walks this way, or else your friend will pay the price. Understand? We will have to travel to my family's old estates, in the Western Highlands, to retrieve your ransom. I presume you will wait here until I return? For now, but if you do not come back quickly, and with a great deal of money besides, this one's life is forfeit. Is that clear? Quite. As for you, Freckles, do not do anything else reckless. Mistress Moriko, I must ask that you come with me. It would not do to go to all this trouble only to be waylaid by bandits on my way back. Let us make haste. Okay, we do actually go a bit further out than just the Ishgard area. And that's the same. And actually another good thing, it's sort of nice that we didn't have to pull out our weapon there. I'm kind of role-playing right now that Komoi laid aside her weapons for this, what could be called civilian work. In some ways it might be correct to say that it's weird that we didn't pull out our weapon, but I guess the idea is that you don't pull out your weapon because you don't want to aggravate the hostage taker. Why out here? You live here? Forgive me, my family's fortune is buried not far from here, but I would rather retrieve it alone. Pray remain here for a moment, and keep watch for bandits and wild beasts. Okay. We'll keep watch. We'll keep watch right over here. Hate to leave this episode on a cliffhanger, but I can't always just finish every single quest before I end the episode. I do want to stay on time most of the time. So with Diamasyn's life in the balance, Komori is going to stand here without a weapon and keep an eye out for any bandits or beasts roaming about. If something comes by, then maybe we'll just throw her duck at it and try to distract them with that. That would be a good time to take a break.